20, 30 yards away was this thing peeking over this pine bush.
It was a large, hairy animal, dark brown, black hair.
All of a sudden, this creature let out I want to call it a blood-curdling, growling, howling scream.
That's when I realized it wasn't my friend that had snuck up on me.
Dude, all the branches that are broken off are red.
That's crazy. There's no medulla.
Hey there, Glenn, with another encounter story from right here in Fremont County, this time in Florence Mountain Park. A place that I found to be super interesting. I've got a lot of really interesting stories and a lot more videos will be coming about that area. But this one is from a gentleman I met while I was fishing. We met at a local fishing hole and we got to talking and I asked him if he had any curious stories and he told me this one from Florence Mountain Park. Now he did not want his face shown, but I did do an audio recording and he was fine with that. So I'll be showing you some videos of the area so that you can see what the terrain looks like. Florence Mountain Park, Newland Creek is a gorgeous area. A lot of people hike that, camp, rock climb. There's all sorts of amazing, it's beautiful. It is really beautiful, but there's also apparently a very dark and very scary side to that area. There are more stories coming in this series of Florence Mountain Park specifically. But for now, listen to Kane, tell me what you think at the end. And if you or anybody else you know has an encounter from that area, from Fremont County, Colorado, or anywhere else, reach out to us at encounters@modernexplorer.me. Let us know. We'd love to hear your story. If you'd be open to it, to document it as well. And if you'd be open to that, take us on location so we can see the specific location and where it happened. I love doing that because it helps build the picture of what's going on around here, because certainly something is. So all that being said, enjoy Kane's testimonial and I will see you on the other side.
My name is Kane. A couple years back, me and some buddies were stone out in the woods.
What year do you think this was?
2018.
Okay.
We were out in the woods further away from the black powder chutes between Florence and Wetmore. Okay. Along the wet mountains.
Do you remember what road that is?
There is no road. You turn the road that's going from Florence to Wetmore. I don't remember.
67, I think it is. The main road that goes
past
the prison.
Yeah. You go way past the prison. There's a couple turns where you got to slow down quite a bit. But you'll see a gate that just has a road that goes right up into the wet mountains. That's where the Black Powder Society goes out there and does their shoots. And we were way behind the area where they shoot the big cannons off, getting stoned and drunk, bullshitting, and we heard big beating, something like big sticks hitting trees, sticking in the ground. And
now, what time of day was this?
Oh, this is the middle of the night.
Middle of the night.
Yeah, because we had our fun at the Black Powder shoot, and after that, we just went out to the hills so we can get stoned in peace.
Okay. So this is late into the night or early in the morning, or?
No, it's from about 10:30, maybe a little later than that.
What time of year is this?
Beginning of autumn.
Beginning of autumn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay, it's probably August-ish, September maybe. Was it before Halloween?
Yeah.
So it was before Halloween.
Yeah, I believe they moved the Black Powder shoot, so that sucked because that was a really good place to go out there.
Okay.
And but we heard a bunch of banging on trees from other trees, and you could tell they were other trees just the way they sounded.
Now, when you say banging on trees, is it
like a big stump, or not really a stump, but a big branch hitting a tree?
And how was it? Just one? Was it multiples?
Oh, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere, all around you.
Yeah.
Okay. How far away?
Some sounded just within sight of our little campfire, but there wasn't nothing. We didn't see nothing.
Okay.
We didn't think nothing of it. We tried banging sticks against trees. We couldn't make it that loud. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
We went out next morning looking around, and you could tell these big limbs as thick as my leg hitting these trees higher than I could reach, picking that thing up.
So,
And you could tell they were which sticks hit those trees, because they weren't only, there's a few sitting by them, but it's just the pattern of them. You could see how the bark looked, and
how
you're
the
like,
bark was
yeah,
torn off.
yeah, and it just kind of matched each other, and you can, I don't know for sure. I deduced that, something was out there just banging the shit out of trees with other trees.
How high up would you say the damage was on the trees?
Well, I'm 6'4", and I would have had to reach just slightly over my head with my arm
So a
bent.
little more than 8 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did the branches look like they'd been recently broken off? Could you tell, or did you?
There were some fresh branches. There was some dead branches. Piles of poop, but it didn't. It looked like elk poop.
Okay.
I'm a hunter. I go out and hunt.
Okay. How many guys were with you?
It was me, my buddy,
Witness 2.
and his brother.
Okay, so you're three of you guys.
Yeah.
So the pounding of the branches up there, were they rhythmic at all?
Not that I remember.
Okay, was it like one and then it would just be nothing, or would it sometimes be multiples in a row?
Well, I assume they were whatever was hitting the trees was communicating with each other, because one over here would go off and then another one over here would go off.
But it would be a single hit, or would be multiple hits sometimes?
Every now and then it'd be multiple.
Was it ever 3 hits that you remember? It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I remember.
Not that you remember.
I was out there getting stoned, dude.
Sure, fair enough.
So-
No, fair enough. No, I just heard somebody talking about these hits and how they might be counting with them. Like if there are 3 people, that they'll hit 3 times. And I was just wondering if that was something
like
you
if
remember.
they're trying to
Communicate, hey,
with
there's
us.
3 guys over here.
There's 3 not us's.
Yeah, and it's 3 of them, so bam, bam, bam.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, I heard some.
The only time I've seen or heard anybody trying to communicate with them is them guys on the Discovery Channel,
On this channel.
yelling at them.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
wouldn't.
no, they don't want to be yelled at.
No. Did you ever hear anything else other than thumping? Did you ever hear any weird
Like gruffing?
Gruffing or
Yeah,
any
you
other
would hear
vocalizations?
noises. Something. It kind of sounded. There was a few noises that did sound like elk, but in distress. Running
Oh, interesting.
and hoofing it. You could tell, but I don't know. We couldn't see nothing past like 3 or 4 trees past our fire.
Right. right.
We didn't really care. Like I said, we went out there to get stoned,
Sure.
get drunk, bullshit, get away from the ladies bitching at us.
No,
Boy, she's gonna be mad hearing that.
no, I could edit that out.
No worries.
Then, so that's all that happened that night. Have you been out there before and have had stuff happen, or was it just that one time?
I've been out there a few times, and I've been out in areas, and I ran into a bear, and it watched it run away from me faster than I could turn around and run.
Sure.
A couple deer, elk, marmots.
But out there, prior to this experience, did you have any other knocking experiences like this or anything?
Not out there, no.
Okay.
No, there's been quite a few times you'd hear strange. That's all I can explain, because I was real young. By Leadville, Turquoise Lake. Me and my uncle used to go up the Mount Scar on one of his old gold claims that he has to go prospecting, and we'd hear noises up there. But I was young; I didn't care. I don't really I don't
Yeah.
fully remember them, because I was like knee high.
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah,
just woods noises.
my uncle definitely seemed on edge. He didn't know what it was,
Oh,
because
interesting.
I learned hunting from him.
And he's been out there hunting for prior to that.
We were on his gold claim. He'll spend weekends out there.
Okay.
No, we just heard noise out there, and
but that put him on edge, and you didn't have any basis to worry about. So
Yeah, he had a gun. I wasn't worried about it.
okay.
My uncle knows how to take care of himself. He'll
Okay.
take care of me. That's all I thought. You know, I was little.
And then you'd mentioned something about somewhere else too, some other oddities or some lights or something.
Oh, and Salida, the orange lights in the sky. Yeah. Oh hell, anymore. If you pay attention, you can see odd lights that I like looking at stars. And sometimes something goes across the telescope, you know, it'll readjust its focus, and you're like, what the
Falafel.
was there? You know, I zoom by, and then you look out your viewfinder with your other eye, and you can see there was a light that kind of zooms off. And was that a plane? No, it's too low. No noise like a plane, especially around here, because you hear them.
Yeah.
Yeah, willy wisps out on my property in Trinidad. It was like someone was pointing flashlights everywhere, but there was no blackness behind it like you would get a flashlight. You know, flashlights are directional.
Yeah.
This thing is everywhere, and there was nothing there. It was going in and out branches, and
Okay. Let's
I had an old lady say, "Oh, those are fireflies." I'm like, "No, that's not a firefly. They don't light up trees and cast shadow on the ground from the branches."
How far away were these things that would you have guessed? How far do you think you would have seen
My
them?
tree line, because I got maybe an acre or two of land.
So is it further than the building there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So further than the building.
Yeah, but it was definitely bright enough. It was like if someone was walking by, you'd see the light go behind,
Shingle.
and then you see it in front of,
Shingle.
behind it.
Okay.
And there's,
And it was lighting up. How off the ground were these lights?
like waist.
About waist high?
Yeah. I got, down over by Trinidad, there's shrub sage, and,
Shazam.
you know, it's not very high stuff.
So you're out there, you see these things. How long do you observe these things?
Periodically through the night, 10, 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then they go off in the tree line, and I don't
Just disappear off
yeah,
into the tree line.
I don't care to go chase them.
Have you ever gone out afterwards to see if there was anything?
Yeah, there's no tracks.
No tracks?
Yeah, it didn't even bother my dog. My dog was a pit bull, and he was my hunting dog.
Okay.
He seen them. It didn't bug him. He just looked at it like it was nothing.
Oh, interesting.
And it was not no damn lightning bug.
Yeah.
Or glowworm or whatever they want to call them. Because no, I've seen them. They don't glow that bright.
Yeah. What time of night was this?
11:30, 12.
Okay. And how often have you seen that out there?
I've seen it a few times.
A few times?
Yeah.
And in how long a time? I mean, if in 5 years you've seen it a couple of times, or?
No. Whenever it's decent outside,
Okay.
you know, there's a chance of it happening.
Few times a week.
A few times a week. Huh.
Potentially you would see them.
I just call them willy wisps. There's no damage. There's no tracks, so I don't really.
Do you have any neighbors out that direction?
No, I don't have neighbors for 50 miles.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
I'm happy about that.
Everybody's going to ask, and you say,
Right.
"Oh, well, then is it car headlamps that you're seeing?"
Oh, no. I can see I-25 from the top of the mesa where I live, and you're able to tell if someone's coming up the mountain to go up to the property, and there's no one else around.
And it can't be lightning bugs.
No. I've seen lightning bugs. They don't glow that bright.
Yeah. And seeing a lightning bug at beyond 40 yards.
Very, very faint.
Very faint.
Out there's no other light.
Yeah.
No other light. You don't have city lights out there, so, you know, a really dim LED garden light that runs off of the sun. You can still see out there.
Okay. So these are pretty bright. How big would you say these things are? If you had to take a guess, obviously it's a distance.
Well, the ball of light that actually you can see and distinguish, maybe the size of your fist.
Okay.
You know.
And what color are they?
Light.
Just light.
I'm colorblind. Black,
okay,
white, gray.
Right. There you go. So they're light. Okay. Interesting. Have you ever tried to video that?
There's quite a few times out there where you could be trying to do something on electronic, like a phone or a laptop, and it just shuts off. So I don't really muck around with my electronics out on the property. You know.
Interesting.
There was this one morning, holy
Fondue.
I'm crashed out in my RV. My dog's passed out down my feet. Boom! Every battery on the property was dead. Deader than
Shingle.
Truck wouldn't start, phone wouldn't power up, my RV wouldn't fire up. The solar panels, they were started to their recycle, the recharge cycle all over again when they were topped off because I didn't use no power that night.
Wow. So when
And
you say boom, I mean, is it an audible boom or was it something hitting the side of the camper?
It felt like a tank was sitting on top of my RV and shot a
Falafel.
can.
Wow. How long ago was
It
that?
rocked it a year and a half ago,
Year and a half.
if that.
And so it rocked the...
Oh, it rocked my RV around.
Wow.
Scared the
Fondue.
out of my dog, and he's not easily scared.
Wow. That's crazy.
But every electronic on the property was dead. The water
Wow.
pumps, their batteries were cut off. Their solar panels, I had to unplug them, their charge controllers, and plug them back in, to reset them.
Yeah.
The only reason I was able to get out of town is because the wind generator. I just hooked the jumper cables up from the battery bank. Those were dead. I have a week's worth of power of batteries out there. Continuous draw, 5,000 watts. And it was dead.
That's crazy. And none of it was physically
No,
like,
there
like a
was-
battery blew up. Or
No,
something
no,
like
there
that.
was no damage anywhere. Anywhere. The batteries, it was just dead. Even my phone battery was dead. Same phone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, charged them all up and they were fine, like nothing happened.
Were you asleep at the time?
Yeah, I was passed out.
So you're out. So if it was a light, you didn't see the light. You just
No.
woke up to the boom.
The boom and the whole RV shaking like something hit.
Have you ever had any? Had you ever heard of anything like that ever happening before? When that happened, what did you have any framework to place that in?
No, it was before coffee. I was not consciously thinking.
Sure.
I was going off autopilot.
Yeah.
I just remember being woke up to what it was and what happened.
But have you ever heard of stories like that before? Or
No, that's something I didn't really share with too many people because my old lady at the time thought I was crazy thinking that I was out there. And every time this one airplane would go over the property, the radios would get staticky. My lights, they would kind of dim and flicker. And she's like, no, they don't do stuff like that. That's a retired military base out in Pinyon Canyon. And I'm like, well,
Shingle.
they service the Marina class helicopter. That's the president's helicopter. No one else rides in those helicopters. And they're serviced there. But that's besides the point, there shouldn't be aircrafts flying around the place that knock out airplane or
like electronics.
Yeah, it didn't really knock the electronics off. It would just mess with the sound.
Yeah, no, the
And
sound,
static
the
and
stuff, right.
no reception
Sorry, I'm
whatsoever.
Conflating the two. That's pretty amazing. That's really amazing.
Well, like I said, if it wasn't for the wind generator up, I wouldn't have got my truck started or anything else going. 'Cause it killed my batteries.
And you're out in the middle of nowhere at that point.
Yeah, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I don't have neighbors. I'm proud to say I don't have neighbors. I mean, I'm a functional person in society, but
I don't want neighbors.
yeah,
No, I hear you.
you can stay the hell away from me. I'll be nice.
Kane, thank you. I really appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
man.
Well, what'd you think about Kane's story? That was pretty incredible. There is a lot of weird stuff I've gotten from up in Florence Mountain Park area. So stay tuned because I've got more stories coming and more encounters in that area. And I personally am doing a lot of research in that area and have found some curious things. So stay tuned. See you next time.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises.